Hi guys, Adam Gibson here, and I'm going to run you through a really quick video. It'll take about 5 minutes or so. We're going to talk about why your current business model in your practice is never really going to work for you and all your clients, and what you need to do to change it. So this is taken from my book, which you're going to get sent a copy of very shortly if you're not already. But this is a quick version of it and a really good way to learn very quickly what's going on. So look at the problems of being a practitioner, particularly in natural health. Think about the fact you've probably got a fabulous service and you do wonderful things for people, and you look around and see people all over the place who need what you do for a living and they need your service, yet they're not coming to you and they're not bouncing down your door and saying, please help me. Frustrating situation. Secondly, the business stuff to do with your practice, anything to do with your business, is normally what most practitioners really struggle with. They're great at what they do, they're great at their profession, but the business end of it's really just too hard for them. And this is the thing that sort of drags people down. And then you think about all the marketing and advertising you do to try and get new people through the door and new clients, but it doesn't work, so you end up spending a lot of money, time and effort really chasing your tail, and it's really not working for you. And perhaps the financial security that might come from other careers, say, less heartfelt careers, doesn't seem to be available to you, and the lifestyle that you would like to think is available isn't necessarily a part of what you get as being a practitioner. And that really is a sad situation when you think about it, that we've got to sacrifice financial security and a great lifestyle just to follow your passion, and particularly such an important passion. And then you've got work-life balance starts becoming out of whack. So, you've got home and you've got family and you've got your health and you've got all these things start taking second best to trying to run your practice and keep your head above water, which makes you not as good a practitioner if you're stressed out, obviously. All right. And then there's too much admin and you've got to worry about money, and there's all these issues around being in practice. And quite often, and this is quite often the case, is your clients aren't listening really to the advice they're getting from you, and they're not respecting you on the level they should, given the level of knowledge and the amount you can help them. They're just not hearing you. Often the case. And this is what a lot of practice tell me, is that their business skills or lack thereof undermine their full confidence as a practitioner. So the fact that they can't get clients through the door undermines how they feel they can help the people that are coming through. Bad situation. So what do you do about it? So look, I'll introduce myself really quickly so you know who's talking to you, I guess. And tell you why you should sort of maybe listen to what I've got to say. I started in bodybuilding very, very young, so there's me as a young, 4 or 5 year old, and I got into my passion. So I was lucky enough to live my passion, and I became a bodybuilder. I always love to show this photo to everybody because this snapshot, like I've trained for years and years and dieted and just put so much into my body to look this way, and every time I show this, everyone laughs at my haircut first and don't notice the muscles. But that was the early 90s for you. But look, I was lucky enough to live my passion. I owned a gym and I had a big team of people around me doing what I love to do, until the point. So I did a similar job to what you guys do. Is I actually loved and loved and loved my job until I hit burnout, and I hit the point where I got bored of it, sick of it, and the business end of it and all the problems I just discussed became bigger than the passion, and that was a very sad thing to happen. So in my view, the worst thing that can happen to you in business is not that you take a big hit and might lose money or things get tough. It's really the fact that you remain partially successful to the point where you just get sick of what you do, and that's a real tragedy, given that you are a passionate person who loves what you do. My big breakthrough occurred when things got so bad that I, got so low that I had to pick myself up again, and I realised that I could ask for help, and I got mentoring, marketing help, and changed my mindset and got some help with that, and that's when my life turned around. So I learnt the hard way that there's two well-trodden paths, and success is an easy one to follow, just as easy as failure. You just got to look for the different path. So. Now my life's very different. I've got a beautiful wife who I attracted immediately after all this occurred. We live on the beach in Byron Bay. This is, go surfing and do lots of cool stuff in Byron, and get to stay fit and healthy and live on the beach. We've got a beautiful little baby girl, and life is wonderful now for me, because I changed and went down this new path. Probably more relevant to you is I've worked with hundreds of practitioners over the years. Here's some of the success stories and people that offer their video testimonials, helping them achieve great things. So Health Leaders Academy, I work as a speaker and author and an entrepreneur, and I also work with hundreds and I've spoken with thousands of people, well over 1,000 people over the last 6 years, practitioners just like you, and worked with over 100 of them one-on-one. Most people I work with, I can find a $50,000 to $500,000 increase in your business. More importantly, though, is the liberation and the freedom and the excitement and the confidence that goes with that. So it's really not about the money in this game. The money is just, a partial indicator of how much is available to you. But really, it's about turning you on to your business and being the best practitioner you can be. And I work with a small group of people. More specifically, I have created a system in order to make my system available to others. So some of that is going to be available here for you now. I'm going to show you a story from Monica, who spent a little bit of time with me in a workshop in Sydney in July 2001, and I'm going to give you an update in this video of how she went. So she's a great success story, and someone you may relate to her story. So what she's about to tell you here may really ring true for you. Have a listen to this.
So Monica, how did you enjoy this weekend's conference?
It's literally been an absolutely life-changing experience for me. There's been so many aha moments for me. I've struggled for 14 years as an acupuncturist, trying to get ahead and just hitting a brick wall, almost every time I tried to do something different. And, I've been disillusioned. I've wanted to give up so many times, and I've lost a lot of passion for it, but I think I finally see a bit of hope to rediscover what it is that made me get into this industry in the first place, and I'm really looking forward to getting back in touch with that.
So what was your biggest aha moment?
That's a good question. I think recognising that I have a value and it's a lot more than what I thought it was, and that I should really acknowledge who I am and what I can offer.
And you said that you'd lost your passion. Has this weekend rekindled that passion in any way?
It started it, yeah. I'm actually feeling a lot lighter, a bit more invigorated. Yeah, and just got some bit more energy back to sort of focus and maybe a bit more hope. Yeah.
And you joined one of our programs. Which one was that?
That was the fast track. Yeah. Fast track program. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm just about to start a new business, my own clinic, big step, in about 4 weeks' time. And I think it's going to give me all the tools I need to really finally make a go of this and do it right and be happy.
Excellent. All right. Well, look, thanks so much for your time.
Okay, guys. So Monica is a Sydney practitioner, acupuncturist, as you heard, and I'm going to update you on her story soon. So amazing story, and you're going to see the transformation that occurred to her following the principles I'll show you now. So if you feel anything like Monica felt, where you may be disillusioned and up against it, or even just struggling a little bit with what you've been doing, you are in the right place, right time. So well done for being part of it. Why are we handing this information over to you? Well, partly we believe, and I personally have a real soapbox to stand on, as I believe you guys are out there as natural practitioners, as a frontline task force against preventable disease in our country. Part of my background is I was a consultant with Diabetes Queensland, and I absolutely was horrified at what was going on in terms of diabetes and preventable disease and obesity and the rubbish food we're eating and all depression and all the things that are going on. You guys are out there changing it. So I'm out here to empower you to do that, to go out and help change that. So look, going back to the problem. So let's go back in. There's a whole bunch of problems we actually don't want to admit about being a practitioner. And here's the hard, honest truth that I want you to get in touch with, and I'm going to offer you solutions to. Is that on one hand, you want to grow your practice, but there's a cost, isn't there? Because what if you've got to go and become a marketer? What about your professional integrity? What about how you're perceived in the community? What about your lifestyle? Do you have to go to work long hours to be successful, or can you have a balance? We don't see a lot of people with both things. Is your health going to suffer as a result? Because that's often the first thing that'll go, is you start sacrificing time and energy away from your lifestyle and doing the stuff you love, and your health is the first thing that suffers, and unfortunately your family life too. So they're the things possibly you've got to give up, and some of us have already done that. Here's a horrible thing, is that the harder you work to make a good income, the less you can possibly deliver. So there's a tipping point where how many people you can see every week, the ideal of how many you can see to be good to them does not equal how many you need to see to pay the bills. And is this all there is? As you said earlier, is that there's a financial security aspect which isn't possibly available to you now. And here's the problem. This is why I see this very clearly as an outsider to the industry, as an observer, is that if you're at capacity, you're basically, at best, I see people as practice, you're going to get an average income, you're going to work very long hours, and possibly end up in burnout mode. And as I said, I've been there myself. My passion turned to burnout. Let me tell you guys, it is horrible. If you haven't been there already, don't go there. And it's a loss to your profession, and we need you out there. So what's really going on here? Why is this occurring? Let's look at the big shifts that need to happen. Here's the thing. Think about this. How much have you spent on upskilling yourself as a practitioner in the last, say, 5 years? All right. Now, when normally I ask this question in live seminars, the answer is anywhere between $2,000 and over $100,000 in some cases. So most practice spend thousands of dollars and time every year just keeping up skilled as a practitioner. But then you think, and then I ask the next question is, how much do you spend on business development? In other words, how much education do you put into understanding yourself as a business person and growing and running your practice better? And the answer invariably is zero. So great practitioners, terrible business people, and that's indicated here. So you're not alone if you're in that situation. But here's the problem: is that most small businesses fail in the first 3 years anyway. And the majority of those, I would argue, all day long, will fail in the first 6 months. So they were destined to fail from the beginning. So we're up against it to begin with, but then you also got the fact that as a natural health practitioner, you've got another problem, is that you're not a standard business. So here's the other, 90% of graduates don't even end up in practice. So the fact that you, as any kind of therapist, have managed to put yourself in practice, or you're thinking about going into practice, puts you in the top 5–10%. So congratulations on actually being there, and we're going to make this whole process easy for you. So here's the big alert: is that the big reason businesses fail is there's no business education. You simply don't study your craft in the area of business. There's no business system to follow. I mean, you're supposed to somehow get educated in being a practitioner and then go out and have magic knowledge about how to run a business. No one told you how to do it. How are you to follow a system? There's no books on how to run, well, until I wrote mine, but you guys have not got access to a system and follow the bouncing ball system to follow. And there's no one out there, there's mentoring that, as far as I know, most of you go to college and get no mentoring around business. Right? So it's a crazy situation. You're right up against it from the beginning. So here's the next problem, is that your business model that you're in, and I'm going to talk about this further, but is inherently flawed, and it's never going to give you that lifestyle or the income or the freedom that you need and want and deserve to be a great practitioner. And I'll tell you why. All right. So basically the big message here is, whatever you're doing now, stop and read and learn what I'm going to show you in these next couple of videos, because if you grow your current business, it's going to invariably lead you to burnout, unless you're doing things drastically different from 99% of practitioners in the world. So don't do what you're doing any further until you hear this information. So coming up in your next video summary is I'm going to show you the 7 core skills you need to run the natural therapies practice of your dreams, create the lifestyle you deserve. Next video is right below this one, so see you on that next video.